So Hitayu and Panchakarma. Actually, when I was invited by Dr. Sarveshwar Kar, actually I received the phone. I was on the way to Ahmedabad for some official work, and when I heard about this topic, actually, I was very happy. Gathering Swasthrut and Panchakarma. It's a really unique idea, and future as far as the Ayurveda is concerned lies in these two subjects. And when you amalgamate these two subjects, can do wonders. And so, first of all, I really would like to give congratulations to principal and his team for selection of this topic and organizing the series on this. Today's scenario of health, it's really horrible, or we can say we are afraid of it, what's going to happen. Cost of living is very high, and so you need extra efforts at the price of health. There is a rat race. You have to be on the top, or even forget about to be on the top, to be in the channel, to be in the race, to be live, or to get the livelihood. You need to put extra efforts. Then this globalization causing imbalance in the environment, because a lot of industries and a lot of things are happening, and due to that, man is moving like machine in life. If you want that tomorrow I want go for work, or I don't want to do anything for 15 days, you want to go for a sabbatic leave, no, you don't have a chance, because you are afraid that if I will stop to work, or if I'll take the leave, somebody will move ahead and I will be पीछे रह जाऊंगा, and there will be a problem. So all these things are there. Hence the list of lifestyle generated disorders increasing day by day. It's the biggest problem, and not in front of India, but in front of world. Actually, infectious disease and all the things, it was yesterday. Now, of course, this COVID has opened a new chapter, but otherwise, due to bacteria and all that things, infectious disease was yesterday. Nowadays, this lifestyle disorder is a major issue. We'll start from what is Hitayu, Swasthayu. So usually, health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social, I will add spiritual well-being, and not merely an absence of disease of, infirmity, or absence of disease. Actually, what definition WHO gives for the health or swasth is not exactly the definition should be. Ayurveda gives the very good definition, and it should be adopted by WHO. Many things they have adopted, except the spiritual well-being, that aspect they have not accepted yet, but earlier or later they will accept that also. And balance, swastha, the Sanskrit term swastha, it itself says a lot. To be in yourself, be within yourself. This says a lot of things, swastha. And to be in yourself is not an easy task, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Many of you have tried to, sit for a while, for half an hour or 1 hour or 1.5 hours without doing anything. If you have not tried, try sometime. You will find it very difficult. You don't have a mobile, you don't have a television, you don't have anybody to speak with, you don't have a scenario to see in front of you, nothing to do, and you sit, you'll find it is very difficult. And so to be swasth, that's why to be swasth, to be within, is very difficult nowadays. So what is the swasth according to Ayurveda? Equilibrium of the doshas, normalcy of dhatus, good digestive power, that is Agni, proper Agni. Then the proper excretion of waste products, that is malas. Then the Atma, prasanna Atma Indriya Mana. Prasanna Atma, pleasantness of soul. Proper functioning of senses of organs means prasanna Indriya. And Man. Ultimately, if all these things are in coordination, in the proper position, then you can say that you are swasth. Right now, what science is, as particularly medical science says, that if you are not depressed, if your laboratory investigations are okay within range, and if you are not having any complaint, that means you are swasth. But we all knows that that is incomplete definition or incomplete assessment of the swasth. Swasth is more than that. And what Ayurveda says is a complete definition. Ayurveda, that is the beauty of Ayurveda. If we try to explain Ayurveda with the tools of the modern science, it is difficult to explain. It is beyond that. So what has caused this, problem today's created a lifestyle disorders or created a threat to the swasthya, created threat to the longevity. Actually, the paradigm shift in house culture. Earlier we were used to do all the things ourselves, means from the cooking to cleaning to day-to-day routine. There was a lot of physical activity. You have to organize the things, and all that things were there. And now you have all the appliances. You just have to put the hand on the switch and things are done. That has created a problem because your physical activity, even the little bit mental involvement has vanished, gone. Then paradigm shift in the work culture. Earlier we used to go to farming was the main business in those days, or most of the business were with physical work. Now it is not there. It is mainly with computer or laptop or whatever we are doing right now. That kind of things are there, and people used to sit in front of screen most of the time and not going here and there, no exercise, no physical movement creates a problem. Then outdoor play has been stopped. When we were in childhood, you all remember what we were playing. Most of the games were outdoor games, indoor games very few, and very less people were able to afford those indoor games in those days, I remember. And now nobody goes outside. Even if somebody has people of my age will agree with me that their children, small child, if they want to find a companion in that area where they are staying, it is difficult to get the companion. If you go to school, then only it is available. Otherwise, no. In childhood, when we were coming to the home, we will go outside the home and we'll play like anything. And then tired and totally exhausted, we will come, have a food, and we'll go to sleep. This has been vanished. Then healthy food. Again, the healthy food, of course, picture I have taken, I won't say that is according to Ayurveda, it's all healthy food, because a lot of vegetables and a lot of fruits, that doesn't mean healthy food. According to Ayurveda, vegetables and fruit should be eaten in limited portion. But healthy food, all we know what is it. Our traditional food, our traditional dish is balanced, is according to Ayurveda, and that is healthy food. Now, it is a total different scenario. I need not to tell much. McDonald's and Domino's and whatnot, everything, Pepsi and Coke, and then the utensils where we were using, the style of cooking we were using. In the ancient time, the vessels of the copper and Kansya Patra and all that things, where even the iron were having a lot of influence in the nutrition and the way of the cooking and all that things. And now we have that Teflon coating and this that, which is causing the cancer and whatnot. So That also has created a problem. Then sound sleep. Even who people are learning the Ayurveda and yoga and all that things, then even they are facing a problem to have a sound sleep, because they are, uh, uh, surrounded by lot of gadgets, lot of stress, lot many things are going on in their mind. In the sense of the computer, means in the language of the computer, if we will say, before shutting down one file, we are opening another file, and then third file and fourth file, and all those things are going in process in the mind, and that is creating a problem. And so disturbed sleep is a new normal. Then of course this is a problem, smoking and alcohol and all these things. And as I told, use of internet. This Jio has created a big problem in India. Everybody who is sitting free is in his mobile, because net is free, WhatsApp, Facebook, and chatting. This is creating a problem. People are not keeping their mind free to think another thing. That is also cause of the lifestyle disorders. So these are the main problems. Common lifestyle generated disease has been emerging, and WHO also has listed out, like cardiovascular diseases and hypertension, cancer, diabetes mellitus, psoriasis, obesity, dyslipidemia, etc. You see the picture in the 1990, this was the study by the Murray and Lopez in Great Britain. Actually, ischemic heart disease in 90 was at the 5th range in the life-threatening disease. And in 2020, he said at that time that ischemic will be the top, and that's the scenario. And he has not mentioned cancer here, but cancer is, I would put on the second number, cancer, and which was not in the picture even in the 1990. It was there, but not life-threatening. But cancer has created a problem due to this lifestyle, our lifestyle. And then the depression, again, it was on the 4th or 5th place, and now it is on second place. He's right about that, second, third place. Depression is a major cause. And then traffic accidents and stroke and COPD and all that things. Infection, earlier it was in top list, but now it has come down. But this COVID has opened up the new chapter. So how Ayurveda can help in all this scenario for Hitayu, for Dirghayu, to attain the long life? Three-facet attack we need to do. One is a prevention, another is a promotion, and third is a cure. So Ayurveda always focus on the prevention of the health. And there, Swasthavrut and Panchkarma goes together hand by hand. And even as the promotion of the health, same Panchkarma and Swasthavrut principle, if somebody follows, he will never get disease, and he will not require ever to enter in the third dimension, that is cure. So prevention starts with the daily routine, that is Dincharya, then Ritucharya, means lifestyle changes according to season, then the dietary guidelines, concept of Prakriti, and the Traya Upastambha. These are the main ingredients, or you can say points to observe if you want to prevent your health or you want to promote the health. In the light of the COVID, I would share that even the ministry has, I was in that committee, ministry has also focused, Ayush ministry, that follow the Dincharya, follow the Ritucharya, have a proper diet according to Ayurveda, have a proper sleep, and all that things. And if you follow those things, you will never get infected. And even you get infected, you will not, face complications and all that things, and you will come out easily. So some beautiful things Ayurveda has described. And I love this sloka. Actually, I say it's a, if somebody imbibe this sloka in his life, he adopt this sloka in this life, he will never get disease, psychologically or physically or whatever. That is nityam hitahar vihara sevi samikshakari विषयेषु अशक्तः असक्तः दाता समः सत्यपरः क्षमावानम आप्तोप सेवी च भवत्य अरोगः. Means the person vihar sevi, always follow the code of conducts of the diet, whatever described in Ayurveda, that ushnam asniyat, snigdam asniyat, and don't go for adhyashan, follow the time, and the Vimansthan, where Matrashitiya and all these things, where it has been described how to take, means what kind of portion should be taken, and all these things, if somebody follows the dietary code of conduct, then he will never get disease, because his metabolism level will, come down, and it will be in the good form. Agni will be good. And if Agni is fine, if he is not having constipation, means Vibandhi is not there, and sleep is fine, is fit and fine. Then Tahar Vihara Sevi. Then Samikshakari. Whatever is going on around you, that you have to observe and follow accordingly. That means in this everything comes. Dinacharya, Rutucharya, or what is the disease right now. You need to wear the mask, you need to wash the hands, you need to avoid, means maintain the distance. Everything comes in the Samikshakari. You will assess the situation wherever you are, either it's your work, or it is health, or your family, or whatever. Be Samikshakari, assess the things, and behave accordingly. Vishayesu asaktaha means not having greed or attachment to anything. Anything means anything. This asakti, attachment to anything, creates a problem, because once you are attached with something and you are not getting it, you are unhappy, and then that unhappiness starts a problem. Even if you go to the, how Ayurveda Avtaran was done, how Ayurveda came to the earth, there also the greed, lobh has been given, that there was a greed, and then that created means mansik bhava dushti, and then from there the impact on the body, and this is started. So if you are not attached with some subject, you won the world, Shakshi bhava, what Gita says, that is very important. Then Data Samaha. Data. Be generous. Help to others. Ayurveda says always share everything, Vasudevam Kutumbakam. That approach should be there. Samaha means balance. Satyapara. Always saying the truth, following the truth. Kshamavan. Kshamavan, most of the people says, you forgive him. You are not forgiving somebody for their sake. You are forgiving somebody. We think that we have forgiven somebody, we have given kshama to somebody. That means we are great and all that things, and हमने कुछ उसके ऊपर उपकार किया. No. Actually, when you are forgiving somebody, you are doing favor to yourself. आप उस चीज से, उस द्वेष से, उस घृणा से, या whatever जो भाव आपके मन में जगा है, from that you have become free. So to become a Kshamavan is a very, very essential for your mental and physical health. Then Aptopasevi. Many problems, experience is the great teacher. And that's why Aptopadesh is necessary. And whenever we get stuck, we should look for the Apt person and we should get advice. And it can save us from many problems. Bhavatya arogaha. If somebody follows all these things, he will never get disease. And if you will try to correlate these things with COVID, you will find that this is either it is COVID or whatever comes. If you follow all these things, you will never get disease. You will never get suffer. Then Artheshwa alabheshwa akruta prayatnam means whatever is impossible, never try to get. Setting your goal, life goal, realistic at the level of achievable, realistic level, right? Whatever your social, physical, mental, and economical capacity you have, try to achieve the goals in considering that capacity only. If you will try to go beyond that, I don't say that don't dream. You dream, then you enhance your capacity. But immediately, without enhancing your capacity, if you will try to achieve the big goal, there will be a problem. Then Krutadaram Nityam Upaya Vatsu. Here the Panchkarma comes. Nityam Upaya Vatsu means you are active, you are ready to do all the upayas, all the ready to take the measures which are necessary to maintain your health, like Panchkarma, following Dincharya, Rutucharya, all these things. That should be there. Then Jitendriya, having control on his senses. Nanupatanti rogas tatkal yuktam yadi devam, yadi nasti devam. He will never get disease if somebody has a bad luck, he has some purva karma, karma sanchaya, then that is a different scenario. Otherwise, he won't get disease. And the third thing Ayurveda says that kalartha karmanam yogo hina mithyati matraka samyak yogescha vigyeyo roga arogyeka karanam. If you don't go for hina mithya or ati for this kal, earth and karma, means if this all are within balance, no hin yoga, no ati yoga, no mithya yoga, then you will never get disease. Particularly in karma and artha, because season, it's not in our hand, it may happen, but of course nowadays there are facility that you can avoid it. Like it is something very much hot outside, you can have a air conditioning, or if it's very much heat, cold outside, you can maintain the air conditioning, or many ways are there you can avoid it. But earth is in your hand, means object of senses, you have to maintain the balance. If you are a foodie like me, I am also very foodie, I like different taste and all that things, but we have to control that what is your prakriti, whether seasons allow you, your health allows you or not, you have to control all the senses of the earth, I say. And then karma also, you have to maintain the balance, where you need to focus, where you need to work hard, where you can moderately manage it, when you need to take rest, because working also is important, as well as taking proper rest mentally and physically is also important for the maintenance of the good health. These are the people Ayurveda has said who are at high risk for the lifestyle disorder, means who are the at the risk, you will have not hitayu for the longer time. The scholars or intellectual active people, Kshotriya. In the olden days, Kshotriya means who studies the Vedas and recites with big sound and all that things. Nowadays, it's a student, or we can say teachers also comes in this category, who are really involved in the teaching religiously. So for them, it is high risk, because when you are taking class, when you are teaching to somebody, or vice versa, when students are in class, they are learning to somebody, they cannot go for attend the natural urges and all that things. And many a time this happens, they obstruct their natural urges, and that is the main cause. Then the servant class people like Rajasevaka, who are in the service, busy with duty schedules, bounded to serve others, whether they or wants or not, fear of being caught in the mistake, and work stress. Then the female involved in the prostitution, they're facing the same thing. Then the business class people, Panyajivi, they also are having sedentary lifestyle, and due to greed, they are stressed also, and get the more and more gain. They involve themselves without thinking about their body and health. So main cause of this lifestyle disorders or imbalance in your hitayu swasthya is the retention of natural allergies. Nowadays is a major cause, and nobody is noticing it back. Ayurveda gives much more importance to retention of natural allergies causing the disease. Main thing is vat prako due to this retention of natural allergies, and listed the professional like government servants and all that things we have already seen. This is the reason they get disease. And eating at improper time, adopting improper lifestyle and dietetics, whatever, suppose there is a 15 minutes break, they will have a sandwich and have a coffee and a lot of coffee time a day to go ahead and all the things. That is the problem, creating diseases and lifestyle disorders. Again, we need to understand the concept of Prakriti. It's a unique thing, Prakriti concept. It's a gift of Ayurveda to the world. And one need to understand our Prakriti and what is suitable to us, what is not suitable to us. We should adapt, and according to that, we should behave. Excuse me. मेहुल भाई मैं एक वेबिनार में बिजी છું કરું हाँ बोलो हाँ ओ ओ ओ ओ હું થોડી વારમાં કહું હું આઈ એમ ઇન મિડ ઓફ ધ યુટ્યુબ પર ને બધા પર લાઈવ છે JSS નું કહું હા હું તરત કહું હા આફ્ટર 10 minutes. So it was an emergency. Some MP is in ICU, is on ventilator and fighting for his life, and they wanted advice what should be done. So Prakriti need to understand, and Prakriti is nothing but it's a genetic makeup for your body, and genomes are hardware, and you require to understand the epigenomes, that is epigenetic response. Your genes will get active or not. If you have a bad genes, good genes, but your epigenome decide that you will get activated or not. And your epigenetics is dependent on your lifestyle, what you eat, how you sleep, how you behave, what is your stress level. All these things have an impact on epigenetics. And if your lifestyle is very imbalanced, then epigenetic changes will take. It's a key. It may switch on the unwanted genes you want, which is not good for your body, and you will have a disease. Then the daily regime. So epigenetics can be managed by Panchkarma. That we will see when I'll discuss about Panchkarma. I think it's already 25 minutes. I will finish my talk within 5-10 minutes. So Dincharya need to follow. I will not go in the detail that Uttishta Brahmurut, then Usha Pana. Why Brahmurut? Because your cortisol level is at the peak in the time in the morning hours, and you can give your best in that time. You can use the energy well. So it is advised. Then Danta Davana, Jihvar Lelekan. And here the Panchkarma covers in Swasthrut, that Gandush Dharana, Kaval Dharana and Nasya. Then Abhyang, Vyayam, Uduvartan, Snana, Anulepan, Dandamalya Dharana, and Bhojan Vidhi. Gandush, plays a big role. Even in the COVID, it has been told that you should always do this gandush because you know, when your mucous membrane of your mouth is covered with oil, lipids, there are less chances that if you will even get the infection, it will go inside. And that's why gandush and nasya has been advised. And there are many benefits of that. It improves voice and nourishes space, strengthens the teeth, gums, and mandible bone, prevents drying throat, chapping of lips and tooth decay, reduces hypersensitivity of tooth. जो आप पेस्ट लगाते हैं ना, उसकी जगह अगर गंडूश किया जाए तो that will be more helpful. And then kaval, the same with gandush is having more benefits, in kaval is not having the same. Little less benefit, but if gandush is not possible, at least do kaval all the time. And this is the mode of action. I am not going to in detail for that, how it affects systematically, because we are short of time. Then Pratimarsnasya, at least 3 to 4 times, everybody should go for Pratimarsnasya, just instilling 2 drops in each nostrils, 2 bindu. Then it promotes, growth of hair and prevents hair falling, and then cures stiffness of neck. All the stress related problem can be managed with Pratimarsnasya. Spondylitis, pharyngitis, laryngitis, headache, disease of eye, ear, ENT disease. So what not? Means you can list many benefits of the Pratimarsnasya. If you have a habit of having a Pratimarsnasya, it can save you from many things. Then this is the benefits of the Nasya. Even the Nasya enters direct in the blood. We have a study on the Brahmi growth in the animal experiment. If sometime I'll get the chance, I will share with you that we gave the Brahmi growth in the rats, and then we found that up to 180 minutes, means up to 3 hours, there was a plasma level of Brahmi was high in the blood in comparison to oral administration. So Nasya administration is very good. Actually, particularly wherever the Ayurveda says that this should be given with the Nasya, I think that is more beneficial if you take by oral in comparison to Nasya. They have tested all these things scientifically, and then only they have written, I think so. And then Abhyang, many benefits are there, you know very well. One should go every day for Nasya Abhyang. If not possible to do whole body massage, at least go for head, ears, nose, and legs on daily basis. That nourishes your skin and increases luster, clears the wrinkles, reduces the roughness. Sajara Shramavataha. That includes everything. I need not to give all this thing. And these are the oil. I won't go into detail. You know very well. Then the application of the oil on the head means Shirobhyang. It gives strength to your hair roots. ENT problems can be relieved from this, and you have a good sound sleep and complexion. Then you can use this coconut tail, Nilibringyadi tail, Trifladi tail, and Himasagar tail. Then Padabhyang, very simple but very important. It is, means many people do not give the importance to Padabhyang, but Padabhyang is really important thing, and one should do every day if it is possible, because it is removes the stiffness, not only the leg, but it has an impact up to the brain even, and the eyes, prevents sciatica, cracking of the feet, etc. Karana Puran, which is said in the Swastrut also, it prevents the deafness. Whatever has been told that Satah Jivem Shradam Sunyam Shradam Prabhavam Shradam Madina Shama Shradam Bhuyascha Shrada Shatata. That slok has to do with all these things, means Panchakarma. If you do every day Karana Puran, every day Pratimarsnasya, every day head massage, pada massage, and all these things, आप 100 साल सुनेंगे, आप 100 साल अच्छी स्मेल लेंगे, आपका बॉडी 100 साल तक विदाउट रिंकल्स रहेगा, and there will be a You have a Hitayu, Swasthayu, and Girgayu. Then Udvartan. Nowadays is very much important because nobody is giving importance to Udvartan that much. But Udvartan, because we are Hamesha, the biggest issue nowadays is a Santarpan. Aptarpan is not there. Most of the disease we are getting due to Santarpan because we have a readily available food and that is also highly nutrition. So Santarpan is the biggest problem and Udvartan can be the answer to that. It will remove the cough. You can do it by Kolkolathadi Churana, Tifla Churana, etc. Reduce the body fat, strengthen the stability of the body and clear the healthy complexion of the skin, reduces heaviness of the body, dilates blood vessels, prevent rashes and itching. Then Dhumpan. Again, I will come to the COVID. They says that every day take Nasa, means vapor. But if you do Dhumpan, every day it has been told that, Dhumavarti you should prepare and then take through the mouth and throat. And then it is better in the ear, nose and head. But here in the light of the COVID, I'll say it will kill the viruses in the way, actually in the nasal route or oral cavity. So Haridradi Dhumvarti and Karpuradi Dhumvarti, better you use Haridradi Dhumvarti and have a Dhumpan every day. So it has been told that after bathing, after eating, after tongue scraping, after sneezing, after brushing the teeth, after Nasya, after Anjana, after sleep. So they say this should be done at least 4, 5, 10, 7, 8 times in a day. At least you do 3 times a day. It will do wonder. So it relieves the heaviness of the head, hoarseness of the voice, rhinitis and the neck. Think of the COVID. Then relieves the pain in the eyes and ears, relieves cough and hiccup, relieves dyspnea and relieves lockjaw, relieves obstruction of the throat. So small things in Swasthruta and Panchakarma can save your life. You cannot imagine. All these things in Ayurveda, why they have told, they were knowing that you cannot fight with the many n numbers of bacteria and virus. They can be many, but if you follow all these things, you will never get disease. Then that was about Swasthruta. Then these are the 3 pillars of the Stambha, means Ahara, Nindra and Brahmacharya. I won't go in the detail. You know very well that how it is helpful in the immunity, particularly sleep. One should consider nowadays because people are not focusing on the sleep and that is creating a problem. And that, of course, now slowly, gradually awareness is going on. Then the Sanshodhana therapies is required for the health promotion, regular Sanshodhana, then Rasayana and Achar Rasayana. So what are the Sanshodhana? Actually, the Vaman, Virechan, Nasya, Basti and Rakta Mokshana. These are the Sanshodhana. Vaman, it is most important. To remove the kapha should be done in the Vasant, that is during the March and April. And in South, it comes earlier in the mid of the February. Then the Virechan removes Pitta, and it is done in the Sharad, in the September, October. In the Basti, it is done in the monsoon, means Varsha Rutu, for Vata. Nasya is for Urdhva diseases and Rakta Mokshana for the blood. And it should be done in the Sharad also. All this Panchakarma, particularly I have done studies with Basti and Virechan. It has impact even on the genetic level. I don't have a time to share with those studies, but I have done with IGIB, Institute of Integrative and Genomic Biology. It is a unit of CSIR. We have done a collaborative study, and Basti has, regulated some genes, and that is proven. So Basti and Vaman and Virechan can do wonders. It is beyond our imagination. It has an impact on the microbiota, and that microbiota can change the scenario of the body. Actually, all the functions of our body are runs by microbiomes, and those microbiome can be regulated very well with this Panchakarma. And tomorrow, microbiome will be the key to explain the effect of the Panchakarma. So Panchkarma can do wonders. I won't go doing in the detail because this next upcoming days, speakers will focus on this in their speeches in the Panchkarma. And then Achar Rasayana, one should follow. That is, good religious conduct, good mental conduct, good social conduct, good moral conduct, and good personal conduct. Achar Rasayana is very easy Rasayana, but nobody of us even follow. If we follow these things, our mental, spiritual, and physical well-being will be ensured. Like, be truthful and soft-spoken, free from anger, devoid the excess use of alcohol and sex, not indulging in the violence, preaching peace and speaking pleasantly, must have inclination, cleanliness, patience, and respectful to the teachers, God, elders, and the society, early to rise, early to bed, having every day Dincharya, Rutucharya should be compassionate, घृत और दुग्ध कशन हमेशा नित्य घृत और दूध को लेना चाहिए. इट हैज बीन टोल्ड जीवनीय सीजन के अनुसार रहना चाहिए, फ्री फ्रॉम ईगो, शुड बी बैलेंस इन द डिसीजन, should have good conduct, should not be narrow minded, should have to love for spirituality, should have self control, should be a thorough religious book reader. Means philosophical aspect book. I won't say religious Ramayana या महाभारत पढ़ने की बात नहीं है, but it's books with the philosophical background from where you can get something. If you do all these things, it ensures your Hitayu. So Hitayu has a 3 pillar, I would say. Control over your mind, so that is Satvavajaya. Then Pathya Palan, it includes all the Dincharya, Rutucharya, it's Pathya. And then Panchkarma. So if these 3 pillars are taken care of, you will get Hitayu. And so Satvavajaya, how to do? You should, being reluctant in fulfilling health needs. These are the cause of the lifestyle disorder. We have talked a lot. So what you should do, hence mind control is must to be in disciplined way and a peaceful lifestyle that gives health. Do everyday meditation, be passionate, Shamavan baniye, Aptasevi baniye, and you will have a Satvavajaya. So with all these things, thank you to JSS administration, particularly principal and Dr. Sudhakar Reddy ji and Dr. Veena for giving me this beautiful opportunity to share my views in the front of this learned audience. Thank you all.